Will you all join us now in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Shall we pray? Oh, holy God, we gather on this day to give thanks for this wonderful building. We gather to dedicate this building as an institution of teaching and learning. A place where children and teens will learn much more than academic lessons, but where they will learn how to love and respect one another. We pray that this building will be a place where students will learn to live lives where dreams are fulfilled and hope is found. May it be a school where teachers inspire and encourage their students, where administrators affirm and celebrate staff and students, and where all staff members allow each student to know that they are valued, accepted, and special. May Milton Union School be a school where the community gathers with pride and enthusiasm. May the school be a beacon of hope for our community. Will God bless all the staff members with patience, love, and compassion as they carry out their work in this building. Bless the students with a desire for learning and dreaming and growing, truly believing that they matter and belong in this place. Above all, may this building be a community where love and respect exist. We ask all these things for the sake of our students, staff members, and community. Amen.
Thank you so much for coming. What a great day for us. Great day for Milton Union Schools. Great day for Union Township in the village of West Milton. Thank you so much. I get to introduce our special guest that we have, and I'm going to ask the board members to stand. You guys. I know some of you will not like me saying that this is, I'm going to say it's one of the best boards that I have ever worked with, and it truly is one of the best boards. They work so well together. They don't always agree, but they hear all sides and make the best decision for kids and for our community, and that's what I like about this board. And we have Jodi Minneman. Jodi's been our president for quite a number of years now. She just just does a tremendous job. She also leads the community blood bank downtown. I guess you're in Kettering now. Sam Hoffman. Sam, of course, is with his the law firm. Sam is our vice president and steps in when Jodi can't be around. And then we have Larry Diaz. Larry, I'll tell you what, this project would not be what it is, or this building would not be what it is without Larry. Larry was our construction representative from the board and has done a tremendous, tremendous job. I can tell if something is level, I can tell if something looks right, but I don't know the inner workings, and Larry does. Because of his profession, has just done a tremendous job, and Larry Diaz is an invaluable asset to our community and to this project. Then we have Chris Long. Chris also attended a lot of our progress meetings every Monday, and would do anything for not only the village of West Milton, but also for our school district. And then we have Shelley Swigert. Shelley Swigert, she has good ears. She likes to listen. And then I always say, okay, Shelley, what are you hearing now? And Shelley's just got a heart of gold. She'll give you the shirt off her back. Thank you, board members, for what we have. And then we have a very important guy. He signs the checks. This is our treasurer, Chuck Klein. You know, community, 4 years ago, it's in 2008, November of 2008, is when we passed our levy. And we're paying for 44% of it, and our good people from the Ohio School Facilities Commission are paying for the other 56% of it. So I'm going to ask our representatives from the Ohio School Facilities Commission to stand. We have Steve Bragansky, and I think I quoted him in one of my Moving Forward newsletters. And then we have Rob Slagle. Rob's also from the commission. And then we have Madison Downlin. And Madison was lucky. He is our project administrator, and he got to be with us every Monday, or every core meeting as well. So he was here on site at least monthly. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And now we have the designers, the architects, the guys who put all of this together. And you know what I can say, and those of you that know me very well know that if I'm thinking it, I pretty much say it. So far, there is nothing that I would change in this 217,000 square feet of facility. It has just really come together well. And that means it's a lot of timing, a lot of planning on the part of our architects. So guys, would you stand? I'm sure some of you recognize Mike Ridgely, because Mike not only got involved after the project, after we passed, but Mike was also at our community meetings and helped us get the word out. He helped us do the initial plans. The renderings. I remember rolling that out 4 years ago at homecoming, and the people stopping by at the homecoming and thinking, oh my gosh, this could be ours, this could be ours. Thanks, Mike. And then we have Mark Ridgely. Mark is the money guy. He's the money guy. And he really does a great job. Mark is also becoming more intricately involved, because Mark is also involved with our the locker rooms that we're building, the concession and restrooms as well. The next guy you've seen quite frequently, especially the staff. Sometimes I think he thinks he lived here. We wish he was here now. But he's working on a school north of, or south of us, the Green School at Northmont. So that's taking a lot of his time. I don't have to say that, Mike Huff. So, Ridgely Architects. When we sat down at the very beginning and We didn't get to choose the construction management team, but we know how important they are because they're with you every day, every day. You live with them through the project. You know who they are quite well. But we got to interview them. We didn't get to choose them, but we got to interview them. And we interviewed 3 construction teams. And I remember that was Chuck, Chris Johnson, who was our business manager, and myself. We interviewed 3 teams. And when we got done, we said, oh my gosh, if we could have Resource Skillman, how lucky it would be. And I don't know, guys, if you had mental telepathy, you gave us exactly who we wanted. So the OSFC said, yes, it will be Resource Skillman. And we have been very, very fortunate. So I'm going to ask you guys to stand. Representing Resource, we have Mark Majazadi. How'd I do on that? Bob Hart. And we knew when it was a bigger issue because Bob would get involved. When Bob got involved, then we knew it was a bigger issue. This is the guy, and this guy, Daryl represents Skillman, the Skillman portion, and Dave represents the Resource. And they live with us. And Dave is lucky enough, he's still living with us. Actually, last night at 7:45, and I said I'd say this, Dave, we didn't know how to control the lights in the cafeteria because they just changed them this week on some emergency switch. So guess who we called? We called Dave. And Dave saw us through the issue, so thank you, Dave. Dave was lucky enough, he still gets to be with us. And then we have Bob Pollitt. Bob is from Skillman, and Bob is still with Skillman. Bob is no longer part of our project, but certainly did a great job. He was at all our core meetings as well. And then Daryl, good old Daryl, leaves us at Christmas time because he had this little project at Berlin College in Indianapolis, Richmond, to work with. We will get him a Milton Union shirt. Jeez. Where's Jess? It's here. Oh, Jess, stand up. This is Jessica. Jessica keeps these men straight. Yes, she keeps the men straight. And then also Dora, stand up. Dora's from Resource, and my gosh, she's what keeps you guys straight too, Resource, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, ladies. Okay, administration. Stand. They're so happy. McNeely, I'll tell you what, I don't know what we would do without McNeely and Joe Blackburn. They've had all the computers, just the facilities. We moved how many computers over from the old building? 700 computers, and then with the new smart boards, so much that needs to be done. Nick doesn't know sometimes if he's coming or going, so. Scott Bloom, and Scott is a jack of all trades. I'm never quite sure what to call Scott. Sometimes I call him the director of student affairs, sometimes the director of special ed. He just does it all, so Scott Bloom. And then we have Lori Grew. Lori's our middle school principal, and you know, I can't tell you guys how much fun it is working with the administration that we have. It is truly fun. And largely, in part because of the tall guy next to Lori, Jerry Brumar is our elementary principal. We truly do have fun. And in the back row, we have Brian Powderlake. Brian's our high school principal. And then we have a new addition this year that I'm just so excited about. We invited Katie Hartley over to teach us about value added last year, because of course that's a big piece not only on the OTES, the teacher evaluation project, but to be excellent with distinction, you need really good value-added scores. And so I saw Katie work with our staff, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need her, I want her. So Katie Hartley is awesome. Thank you guys. general trades is Ferguson Construction. And I tell you, I just feel very, very good about what Ferguson has done for us. Haven't always agreed with them, have we guys? We've always agreed? No, we haven't. Okay, Bill, stand and John. This is Bill Brandaway. Bill's from actually Brazils. Bill just really he's a hard worker, a very hard worker, and has done a super job for us. And then we have Big John, and John is living well. He's with us some of the times, but John, we hardly recognize him because you never see John with a shirt and tie and a suit, so it's kind of nice. Bill, I want you to stand. I tell you, one of the guys, this is Bill Brandaway's son, absolutely love this kid. Always has a smile on his face. He's just a great guy. Turn around, Bill, and wave to the people. This is Bill's son, Bill. Okay, then we have some very important people. Al and Holland, will you stand? Of course, everybody knows Al. When we want the flag brought in, we always call Al. Al was there on Friday night to take the flag in for homecoming. And then Miss Molly Smith. Molly graduated 4 years ago, Molly, 2008. Molly's just a great kid. She is now a lieutenant in the U.S. Air Force. So Molly Smith. And then we have Justin, Pastor Justin. Absolutely love Pastor Justin. What's your wife's name? Shonda. She is also working with our guard and just does a super job. What a nice young family. They have a new son, so is he here today? He isn't. Oh, well, and he comes to our activities, he watches, he's such a good person and a vital member of our community. Thank you, Pastor Justin. And what do you want me to say about this guy? There's not much you can say about this guy other than he's our community liaison. When we wanted to pass the levy 4 years ago and we needed a chairperson, I thought, who is going to be the heart and soul of Milton Union? And it was real easy, and it was Duncan. And when I said to Bill, Bill, will you help us out? And he says, I don't know, let me think about it. And then he said, what would I be without Milton Union? He said, that would be just like cutting my arm off if I didn't have Milton Union Schools. Bill Gibb. And when I need prayers, I say, okay, Father John, pray for me. He's been doing a good job lately because he's been marrying people off and he does a super job. And I told this young man behind us, Canton Dickinson is going to talk about what this building is, what it means to us, to his kids. And of course you know his grandma, Sally Dickinson, his parents. He's just a great kid. I told him, and he knows I told him this, I said, you know, when you run for political office, I don't even care which office you are for, I'm going to vote for you. So, Canton Dickinson. Village Council, would you stand? You too, Matt. You know, it is so much fun when people work together. You get so much done. And this is just a great village council. Just a wonderful group. And it is so much fun working with Matt Klein. Matt is our new village manager. How long have you been here, Bill? For what, Matt? 10 months. And he loves working on the weekends. He loves emails on the weekends. So if you ever need to get in contact with him, he'll respond right away. He loves that. Not. Michael Coe. Michael is our mayor and just has really stepped up, has pulled people together, and it's just really fun to we got the school and the township and the village all working together on the same page for our youth and our communities. So I just think that is tremendous. Then we have Ora Ashley. Ora is just a great guy. He's just a great guy. Scott Fogel. Scott graduated from Milton Union, 87. And yes, it was a good year. Scott Fogel and Scott's wife, Stephanie, just does so much for the school. She is involved in our PTO. She's also works with, is in the building all the time volunteering. Thank you. And then we have Fred Francis. You know, it's really great when you have nice young people who come, bring their kids to school, and live in our community. And Fred Francis did that. How long have you been here? 3 years? It's great to have you. There's another great family. Jason Tinnerman, of course, that's Chuck and Linda's son. And his wife is Nikki. She works in our school system as a social worker in the elementary and just does a super job. Thank you, Jason. And then we have Susan Willis. Susan, her son Michael, 2008 graduate. And Susan is also involved pulling our communities together, working together. Thank you, Village Council. And this was Chris Long's idea. We were going to have some kids say the pledge, and he said, well, let's have some alumni from each decade say the pledge. So would you guys all stand? And I wanted somebody who was intricately involved in getting the levy passed. So it was real easy for me to go and just start down my list. And of course, we have Mr. Dick Markley. Dick remembers when the old high school was built in '39. So Dick is representing the 40s, an alumnus from the 40s. And then we have Keith Wagner. You all know Keith. Keith was in our building 30 years, right? 33 years. Not. Yes, many of you I know had Keith for a teacher, a great teacher. I remember at one time I called Keith, he's my neighbor, I called him and said, Keith, did I use who or whom? Which is it? I didn't know, but I know I could always call him and he got the answer. And then we have Ron Berner, who is representing the 60s. I don't have to say much about Ron. I'm glad you have the red on. Good, good. And then we have Ty. Don't have to say much about Ty, his song either, because Ty and his family, Candy, and the kids just do a super job supporting us. It's just great young people, great young families. And then we have Julie Ramel Motes. Julie graduated what year? 89. Jeez. 89, and is the same way. She and her husband Anthony have 4 young kids in our system, and very smart kids too, by the way. And then we have Heather Brubaker Jones. Her husband Chris. You guys have, oh, they have triplets. That's one thing to remember. They have triplets. They have 4, right? Yeah, 4, and of course all 4 in our system too. And then we have Becky. Then we have Becky Circle Garrett. I was almost going to reverse that. Becky, of course, graduated, what year? 05. And she married Ben Garrett. And just a super gal. She and Ben put together one of our newsletters that when we were trying to pass the levy. And then we have Andrea Fetters. Andrea Fetters just graduated last year. What a great young person. She went to played tennis, plays tennis. She's also a great softball pitcher. Actually, we might need you back this year. So. She's going to Ohio State. Thank you, ladies. And then we have Phil Brubaugh. And I want to tell you about Phil because Phil is the great nephew of Nellie Lowry. There are the 3 closest living relatives of Nellie Lowry, and of course we wouldn't have what we have if it was not for Nellie bequeathing 140-some acres of land to us. Phil was also, his company is also our civil engineers, and just did a great job. Phil has a sister, Suko, from Laura, but she couldn't make it today. And then Robert Pearson still lives in California. So they are the 3 closest living relatives to Nellie Lowry. Thank you, Phil. Okay, guys, it's your turn. Okay, we have Dick Adams. Dick is a representative to the House in Columbus. Dick Adams, and Dick is certainly, you're not on the Education Committee this year, are you? Oh, still in, well, I can tell you then we're not getting enough money. Now I know who to call when they say they want to cut us 10%. We'll talk afterwards. And then Bill Beagle. Bill Beagle's our state senator. And I've called Bill a couple times, and I like to talk to Bill. Bill listens and doesn't always resolve my issues. He was home one. Thanks, guys. And then we have the Union Township trustees. Stand, guys. You too. Yeah, you're a superintendent. These guys are just wonderful to work with. We have a bus issue in the county. I just know that they're going to help us see it through. We have Jim Allball, and of course you know the Allball kids. He had 3 sons that went through the school system, he and Dixie. Actually, I can't wait to see your grandson play basketball, led by, that'll be great. And then we have Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is quite a leader and wants what's best for the village of West Milton. And actually, is Bud still here? Bud, Bud, stand. Bud O'Brien, that's his son. So, Bud's and then we have Phil Moe. Phil and Mary Ann have the 2 girls that went through the system, and Phil's the same way. If you ask for anything, man, they are willing to help and want to help to do what's best for our community. And then we have the Township Trustee Superintendent. And I've known Tony a long time. I had Tony's 2 girls in school. And Marcy and Mindy, yeah. They didn't like to study their flashcards, I do know that. But I'll tell you, what a nice group of people to work with. Thank you. I want to introduce one other person, Corey Diaz. Where's Corey? It's Corey here. Corey, stand up, Corey. Corey is Larry and Vicky's son. Corey is the one who designed the artwork above our soffit out here. And he lives in California. His work is also hanging in the New York Jets and the New York Giants' new facility. So we thought if it's good enough for them, okay, we'll take a look at it. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you, Dr. Amel. I guarantee I'm not going to talk as long as she did. Hate to give her a mic, don't we? Welcome, everyone. And wow, what an accomplishment we have here. We now have a state-of-the-art K-12 campus that gives our students the best opportunity they can have for an excellent education. And that is thanks to everyone in this community. We couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Remember, as Jenny said, 4 years ago we passed that first levy, and that was a monumental step. We didn't think it could happen, and it did. We have a lot to be proud of. We have a great district. We have caring teachers and staff, excellent administrators, all-day, everyday kindergarten, an on-site Head Start program. We have looping in the 5th and 6th grade, which means the students get to stay with their teacher for 2 years. The Freshman Focus program, where upperclassmen get to mentor the freshmen coming in. We have cutting-edge technologies, and we have partnerships with institutions of higher learning. And because of all this, we have many accomplishments. Milton Union was recognized nationally as one of 2 schools in a 3-county area as having the highest achievement levels at the lowest cost, and that's really something we're all proud of. All 3 buildings in the district for the 2nd consecutive year in a row earned an excellent rating from the Ohio Department of Education report card. And last year, the ACT composite scores for 11 and 12 was the highest ever, along with the English, math, and science scores. We also had the highest graduation rate ever in Milton Union history and in the county. And I want to thank everyone for that. We're all a part of this community. Also, as you know, key to this project was Dr. Jenny Randall. She was fabulous. We couldn't have done it without her. Chuck was her right arm, and Larry, we used to always thank Larry. Every time we saw Larry, we thanked Larry, because Larry saved us all a lot of hassle and problems. Without Larry, this building wouldn't have happened the way it did. They worked tirelessly to make this facility what it is. It's the best school building in the state of Ohio, and I think the best in the whole United States.
Wow, what a great group. Thanks for coming out to help us celebrate. It's really exciting to see such a large crowd here for this celebration. I have to tell you, I'm feeling a little pressure right now because when I saw Keith Winder walk in, he was my speech teacher when I was a junior in high school. He told me he was going to time me because I had a 5-minute limit and he was going to hold up a card with my grade at the end of the speech. Talk about pressure. I tell you, it's been an honor and it's been exciting to be part of this project from the very start about 4 years ago. And it's been exciting to be part of this team. I kind of identify us as having 2 teams, the inside team and the outside team. The inside team being Jenny Randall and Judd Klein and Nick Neely and the entire school board. And I'm telling you, we work together as a team. And also part of that team was the entire teaching staff and the entire staff of the school, because Jenny involved them from the beginning. Come here, tell us what you want in your school, and even community members. So this school is indeed an entire community project, and that was your local team. And then I have what I call the outside team, which were the architects and the engineers and the construction management team and our contractors. And if you asked the architects, or if you ask the construction management team, or the contractors back there, and I see the grins and smiles on their face, if you ask them if they've ever worked on a project where they had more of an inside team that was as demanding and particular as this inside team, DC's smiling. They'll tell you, they've never dealt with a group like this. And I have to tell you, we still have little things that we're working out, little few details, so we're going to continue to bulldog it until everything's perfect. But they've been a great team to work with. What I want to do is kind of outline for you the priorities that our inside and outside team developed in the design and construction of this school. Number 1 priority was we wanted to make sure that we had the absolute safest facility and the absolute best facility for a learning environment for our students. That was our number 1 priority. And we feel confident we accomplished that. If any of you have tried to come in during the day, you know you can't just come in. You've got to come in through to a vestibule and talk to a staff member, then a door with an electronic lock is open and you're allowed into the building. We have the best security of any school facility. And then we've got many, I'm telling you the number because we have some students here. We have many security cameras throughout the facility. And some of our students will tell you that they're effective already because they found out. We've got that security. And then our learning environment, of course, is important. We've got now an air-conditioned facility. The teachers that taught so many years in the other buildings with 95-degree days at the beginning and the end of school, what a difference this makes in the learning environment. But beyond that, our classrooms are larger. our classrooms are brighter. Our classrooms, we now have science labs in the middle school and state-of-the-art science labs for all of the sciences in our building. So we really have increased in that area. The other priority that we had was in energy efficiency. We wanted to build the most efficient building we could energy-wise without excessive expense. And we also want to incorporate alternative energy sources, and I'll talk about those briefly in a minute. And then finally, our last priority, and certainly not important, was to have a building that was aesthetically attractive, a building that the entire community could be proud of. And we certainly thank the architects for their guidance for us in accomplishing that. I hope you all agree that this is just a beautiful complex of buildings. A few brief financial facts. The cost of the project was $42 million. As Jenny stated, that cost was shared with the state picking up 56% of that. And the rest of us, the local residents, were paying for the other 44%. We were very fortunate that when the bids came in on this project, that the construction atmosphere was very competitive, and we got very competitive biddings. And our estimates came in about 15% below what was estimated. And because of that, we were able to incorporate things into the project that we couldn't have afforded otherwise. And so with that competitive environment, we're ending this project, our construction managers tell us, and I hope they'll nod their head that I'm right on this, we're ending the project with about $3 million left in our pockets. And we tried to talk the state out of their 56%, but they said they wanted their share back. And so we get the 44% of that $3 million, which is about $1.32 million. So we actually say $1.32 million is that we are going to use to pay off the bonds earlier and save the taxpayers money in that regard. Briefly about the energy efficiency of the building, we have extremely high efficient gas boilers. We have an air conditioning system using ice making that gives us a very high efficient system in terms of cost operations. The engineers, we don't have the engineers here tonight, or with us today, the engineers have estimated for us that our energy operational costs for this facility will be somewhere between 10 and 30% of what the costs were for our other facilities. So we're going to be saving money on energy costs in the district over a long number of years. Okay, another thing I would like to mention, another priority for the board and for the inside team was building a building that would be low on maintenance and would last for a long time. We insisted, even though the architects and some of the engineers said we couldn't afford it, we insisted on gable roofs with metal roofs. That's a high cost item. Barrel roofs in the gymnasiums. Roofs that will last near the life of the building. So we're not going to be replacing flat roofs all the time and the costs that are associated with that. And the other priority was quality of flooring. We have terrazzo floors in the hallways and bathrooms and the cafeteria, and high quality rubber floors in the classroom. That will last. Again, low maintenance and items that won't have to be replaced. I'd like to briefly mention the alternative energy features of the school. I think most of you probably are familiar with them, but if you came in and looked to the west today, you saw that wind turbine spinning out to the west in the gusty winds we've got today. That's a 15 kW wind turbine that will produce energy, obviously when the wind's blowing. On the back side of the high school building, we have a 35 kW solar array, photo solar array that generates electricity when the sun is shining. And that building was wired so that we could add more of those panels across there and increase the amount of energy being provided by the sun. We also have solar hot water heating that will preheat the water before it goes into the hot water heater, saving costs there. We have green roofs, where we have plants on part of the roofs that help to insulate and reduce the amount of water runoff. And I almost forgot to mention the the rainwater tanks. We collect rainwater from all of the roofs that go into a 75,000-gallon tank, and then that water is used for the toilets and for the irrigation system. So that's great savings on the water. And finally, I would just like to say we're proud of the entire community backing this project. We think we have a facility that is next to none throughout the state, as Jodi said. And we think with this physical structure and with the staff that we have, the quality of the staff that we have one of the best schools in the state of Ohio. And I would extend that to say, I think we have one of the best communities in the state of Ohio, in the village of West Milton and Union Township to reside. Where could you reside with a safer, a better standard of living than right here? So help us sell our community to friends we know that might be trying to decide where to locate. Have them take a close look at West Milton and see what we have to offer. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm a little worried. I just saw one of my volleyball players walk out of the auditorium here right before my speech. And she's obviously heard me speak before, so that does not bode well. I'll say what I'm going to say briefly. What an honor for me to have been asked to say a few words on this very significant occasion in our community. As a lifelong resident of West Milton, I can think of fewer greater honors than to be one of the speakers today at the dedication of our wonderful new school. I'm here to talk for just a minute about what a school means to a community. More specifically, what this school means to our community. It's a question that seems to have an intuitive answer, but what really does a quality school mean to a community and a township and an area? In answering this question, you can take it literally. In other words, there are those things that we can measure. You can figure out the economic impact of a school. You can calculate the effect on home values. You can figure out the percentage of the workforce that's employed by the school. But to me, what our school means to this community and this surrounding area is not among those things that are measurable. To me, a school is like a harbor. It's a launching place and a landing place. It's a constant as the world changes around us. No matter how long you've been away, you can come back and the feelings of love and loyalty are always there. Recently, I've watched many alumni making the journey back to see this new building, and you can tell by the way they talk and act when they're here that the feelings of pride and ownership are there. The school may be a constant, but it's constantly changing too. But even though what goes on in the school changes to keep up with what's going on with the times, it remains the home of innumerable shared experiences that are some of the most important of our lives. As much as we loved our old, great building, it was a building. The memories aren't in the building, to be lost when it's gone, but are housed within us. Having worked and coached in this building now for about 2 months, I've learned that I'm developing the same feelings for this place that I had for our previous building, that sense of ownership. It has made me so proud to welcome people from other schools as they come here to compete against us and then hear them comment so favorably about what we have made. A school is pride for the community. In a very great sense, it defines us as a community. When we decided to build this facility, it defined what kind of people this school district has within its boundaries. It defined us as the people who realize how important a great school is, and then better yet, went ahead and followed through with making this great place happen. A school is a centering point for a community, a place for education for sure, but also sports, music, theater, and other civic activities. A place to gather and learn, to sit and cheer, and to be proud of what our kids and their kids, and in some cases their kids, have accomplished. And lastly, school is a legacy we leave for the future generations for our area who have not yet even been born. To coin a famous Woody Hayes quote, this is our paying it forward, giving those not yet born generations an optimal environment to learn and grow. There's something very gratifying about knowing that you did all you could do, that you've created this marvelous facility to teach our young people that we may never know, and will give them the best chance of success down the road. And in closing, I can say this with as much enthusiasm as I can muster. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great day to be a Bulldog.
There's a famous quote by Oliver Holmes that says, "Where we love is home, home that our feet may leave, but not our hearts." After reading that quote, I really began to think of what this new building really means to our student body. Now I know that statistics can be boring, but think about this one. Our current students spend about 40% of our weekdays in this building, and that's not even counting extracurricular activities. That's almost 35 hours a week in one building, interacting with each other and becoming the people that we're going to be for the rest of our lives. To the student body, I think that this building is our home. We can look at it with pride and say, yes, I go to Milton Union Schools, and I couldn't be any prouder. It's a place that we can cherish and love, for not just our years we spend in classrooms, but as alumni also. Many of you here went to school at Milton. You were born and raised in the old school, as was I. My grandma, Sally Dixon, taught and coached here for many years, and is now in our athletic hall of fame. While both my parents, Dana and Terry Dixon, went to school here, and my dad is still a teacher and coach here. I have so many memories from those old buildings, and I'm sure almost all of you have great memories also. So much tradition was bred in that school. This new building is a way to continue that tradition. In the hallways that you walk through today, us students will be making friends and earning an excellent education that will last us a lifetime. Look at the banners to your right. That's what this school means to us students. Remembering our past, but embracing our future. Our students love our new environment, inside and out. It's breathtaking to look out of our classroom windows at all this beautiful land. The scenery alone keeps students wanting to come back each day. Many of the green initiatives our school has taken can be shown as a model to the rest of the country. With so much new information coming out about the effects of pollution on the environment, this is very important to our students. It's amazing to realize that so much modernization can happen while still keeping nature pure and beautiful. Inside, this building is so crisp and exciting with color. You look down the hallways, and there's just a certain glow to the whole building. My personal belief is, by having such beautiful and awe-striking facilities, students are more excited to come to school each day and explore new paths. Along with this new environment, students now have an even wider range of opportunities. Our technology and equipment is state-of-the-art, and students appreciate that. It's thrilling as a student to know that you have some of the best learning tools in all of Miami County, and maybe even all of the state. With all the new tools and technology, it's important to realize that this building is not all bricks and mortar. I would argue that we have the best staff of any school in the state, from secretaries to teachers to bus drivers. Everyone in this building is remarkable at what they do, and they really care about the children that they influence. And by giving them better apparatuses to use, they can be even better at their jobs and teach us a lot more. In conclusion, on behalf of our whole student body, I'd like to thank everyone who played a part in the making of this spectacular building. It is truly the gem of our community and something for everyone to be proud of. And to all alumni, current students, and even future students, welcome to your new home. Go Bulldogs!
afternoon. All present will give your attention to the most worshipful Grand Master and officers of the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Ohio. Grand Master, the assembly is in suitable order for your reception.
Before any important undertaking, it is most proper to invoke the blessings of heaven. Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain, would you please lead us in prayer?
Let us pray. Grand Architect of the universe, in your name we have assembled to commemorate the efforts of these people in the place and ask that your spirit be nourished, refreshed, sustained, and fulfilled with joy to the end that your will be done. Amen.
The Grand Lodge of Ohio and the brethren here assembled have come today because we've been invited to participate in this program to present one of the traditional Masonic ceremonies of recognition for such landmarks as your new school. In the past, we have laid cornerstones of public buildings and schools. And to my understanding that the Masons had a public ceremony at the opening of the prior school in 1938. So we will proceed. Symbolism has always been a chief measure of communicating the truths of an organization. The explanations of several of our Masonic symbols will be helpful today as we call attention to new levels of achievement here recognized.
Since ancient times, Masons have laid the cornerstones of new buildings with due ceremonies. The craftsmen have always tried the cornerstone with the square, the level, and the plumb.
In the hands of our ancient operative brothers, the square was used to prove right angles. Today in our hands, as modern free and accepted Masons, the square is a symbol of virtue, and as it proves the tightness of the cornerstone, so too it reminds us to prove the tightness and integrity of our character and actions.
In the hands of our ancient operative brothers, the level was used to prove that the cornerstone would be laid on a proper horizontal and therefore would provide a sure foundation. Today in our hands as modern free and accepted Masons, the level is a symbol of equality. It reminds us that Freemasonry is built upon the equality of its members and the belief in the equality of all men.
In the hands of our ancient operative brothers, the plumb was used that the cornerstone to prove that the cornerstone was properly perpendicular with the horizontal. Today, in our hands as modern, free and accepted Masons, the plumb reminds us to try our actions by the rectitude of proper conduct and admonishes every Mason to be a just and upright member of society.
So as the cornerstone was first proved by the square, level, and plumb in the hands of ancient operative Master Masons, so these symbols have meaning for us today as we contemplate the square of virtue, the level of equality, and the plumb of rectitude of conduct. For any edifice, whether temporal or spiritual, or any other human endeavor, if built upon virtue, equality, and rectitude of conduct, it will have a sure foundation.
And when built upon a sure foundation, our works will prosper with proper workmanship, resources, and support. For centuries, Masonic tradition has also directed its focus on 3 additional and meaningful symbols, which are corn, wine, and oil.
Since ancient times, corn has been an emblem of nourishment and plenty. As such, it is dedicated to charity in the
the ceremonies of our brotherhood to remind us that to soothe the unhappy, to sympathize in their misfortunes, to show compassion for their miseries, and to restore peace to their troubled minds is the great aim we have in view. On this basis, our fraternity forms its friendships and establishes its connections among the brothers. I scattered this corn as an emblem of plenty. May the blessings of heaven be showered upon us and upon all like undertakings, and inspire the hearts of the people with virtue, wisdom, and gratitude.
Since ancient times, wine has been an emblem of refreshment. As such, it is dedicated to hope. It reminds us to have hope in immortality as the refreshing reward of a well-spent life. I have poured this wine as an emblem of refreshment. May the great ruler of the universe bless and prosper our national, state, and municipal governments. Preserve the union of the states, and may their union be a bond of friendship and brotherly love that shall endure through all time.
Since ancient times, oil has been an emblem of joy. It was with ceremonial oil that the kings of old were anointed. As a Masonic emblem of joy, oil is dedicated to faith, for only through a firm faith in God can true joy be attained. I poured this oil as an emblem of joy. May our hearts and minds be filled with joy and gratitude to the great and beneficent author of our existence for the manifold blessings and comforts we enjoy.
The corn of nourishment, the wine of refreshment, and the oil of joy, dedicated to charity, hope, and faith, are familiar and oft-repeated themes in Freemasonry, and their mention should invoke in each of us a serious reflection not only on our past, but for our future. Those assembled in this place will dedicate themselves anew to move forward with faith in God, hope in immortality, and a charity for all mankind, then they cannot help but to assist in that great work, preparing their hearts and their minds as living stones for that spiritual building, that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens.
The ceremony you have just witnessed is very old. President and Masonic brother George Washington laid the cornerstone of the United States Capitol in a similar Masonic ceremony in 1793. The Ohio State House in Columbus was dedicated by Masons. And in 1939, the Grand Lodge of Ohio came here to your district and dedicated a new high school. And today we are back again, dressed in our ceremonial uniforms to mark this celebration with ancient ceremony. The Grand Lodge officers have come from across the state, and we're driving thousands of miles today to be here with you. We were inspired to make this trip for several reasons. First, we come in friendship. We come for our friend and your own alumnus, C. Michael Watson, our past Grand Master, Grand Secretary, and a member of West Milton Lodge, number 577, and a member of your class of 1966. A few of you do remember Mike. He came, he asked us to come, and we gladly came, because that is what friends do, and that is what Masons do. We support each other. We came because we believe we have something to give. The ceremonies of Freemasonry are a gift from those who came before us, and this gift grows by sharing. Our ceremonies help to define and elevate special occasions, build social capital to unite our society, and inspire us to be better people. They are a blueprint to our future. And we came to express our respect. We have seen the news reports from WHIO-TV that said it took 9 levy attempts before you could build this wonderful school. We respect the motivation and diligence that kept your community pushing forward to this goal. We respect the hopes and dreams you hold for your students and their future. And we respect your determination to continue achieving excellence in the classroom, now that you have the right facility for learning. Superintendent Rammel, members of the board, and citizens of the Milton Union School District, on behalf of the Grand Lodge of Ohio, I congratulate you and offer you the thanks for inviting us to participate in today's ceremony. It is now my privilege to introduce Most Worshipful Brother Kevin B. Todd, Grand Master of Masons in Ohio, for his final remarks and our closing prayer. Grand Master.
Thank you. As every speech ought to start, in conclusion, I just wanted to say that we are happy to be here today. The Masons of your community, there's some on both sides of us here, there's probably several in the audience. The Masons of your community are a big part of your community. I'm sure they were a large part of your investment in the school system. The ceremony that we perform, a lot of times, is performed over an actual cornerstone, and in doing so, it symbolizes the beginnings of your school system, the beginnings of your dedication to your communities, and as Freemasons, we are anxious to help participate in that service. We did mention a few of the Grand Lodge officers that came, and they did come from various parts of the state. I just want to make a couple of quick introductions. We have our Junior Grand Deacon, Jess Raines. He is from Malta, Ohio. Eric Schau, who is our Senior Grand Deacon. He is from Elyria, Ohio, up by Cleveland. Douglas N. Kaler, our Grand Marshal from Miamisburg, did a wonderful job today. Our normal Grand Orator, Robert Brill, who's from the Toledo area. And one of my personal heroes, an alumni of your school system, Brother C. Michael Watson, a member of the class of 1966. As our Grand Marshal said, that several of you remember the class of 1966, but looking around the audience, I would say, listen, you don't remember 1966. Our Grand Treasurer, Ron Connolly, and he's from Centerville, Ohio. Our Junior Grand Warden, Steve Kokenauer, he is from Powell, Ohio, by Columbus. Our Senior Grand Warden, Norman Mick, who's from Harrison, Ohio, the other side of Cincinnati. And myself, I'm Kevin Todd, I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, about 2 miles from the Pennsylvania border. Again, we were happy to be here today to help you celebrate this momentous occasion, the beginnings of your new school system, the beginnings of your new school, and we want to wish you luck in all your endeavors and wish the students luck in all their endeavors out of the school system in the future. Thank you.
Let us pray. Now, as we are about to quit this place and mix again with the world, may we remember our calling as Masons, a calling for nobler deeds, for higher thoughts, and for greater achievements in the service of the grand architect of the universe and all his creation. Amen.
Brethren are excused.
Good afternoon. Excuse me. Sorry. On behalf of council and manager Matt Klein, we want to congratulate the school district for this great accomplishment. It's one of the most beautiful school buildings I've ever been into. I've been very impressed with the architects, and it's a pretty amazing facility. Before I read this proclamation, I just want to give credit to Mr. Klein for putting this together and for me to read and just celebrate with you this good day for the village and the township. But before that, I just want to kind of give a challenge to parents. School is a very important part of your children's education. It teaches them math, arithmetic, English. It is a very big part of your children's life. But the most important part of your children's lives is you, as a parent, to encourage them, to discipline them, and to really lead them in the right way in life and encourage them. So parents, don't forget that, and always remember that you're the most important part of your child's life. So I'd like to read this proclamation and celebrate with you. Whereas we are taught through the Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, to train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And whereas education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And whereas next in importance to freedom and justice is education, without which neither freedom or justice can be permanently maintained. And whereas the Milton Union School District has earned excellent from the Ohio Department of Education, and whereas the Milton Union School District has earned, whereas the Milton Union School District has been nationally recognized for the highest of achievements at the lowest costs, and whereas we come together as a community to celebrate our community's greatest asset, and whereas we say to each other, see what we have done, and we say to the world, watch what we can do. Now therefore I, Michael Cook II, Mayor of West Milton, Ohio, by virtue of authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the Village of West Milton in the state of Ohio, do hereby congratulate the Milton Union School District for the construction of this magnificent building, and hereby do proclaim this day Milton Union School District Dedication Day. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand on the 14th day of October, in the year of our Lord 2012, into the Village of West Milton, Ohio. Thank you.
I'm Richard Adams, your state representative in the Ohio General Assembly in Columbus. And I want to congratulate the Board of Education, all of the staff members of the Milton Union School District for this tremendous accomplishment. It occurs to me that we have a number of students here, including the members of the band. I would ask that every student, every Milton Union student would stand. While you're standing, I would say to you, as someone once said, that communities have the school they deserve. It's obvious that this school district represents an outstanding facility in this community. But students, you should know that the people of Ohio have invested their money in this facility because they believe in you. But there's a group that believes in you even more than that, and that would be the individuals who live in this community. The individuals in this community have increased their taxes so that we could have a safe, excellent educational environment. So I would invite each student here, right now, by your applause, to thank the taxpayers of this school district. Thank you very much. Please be seated. You know, I've been impressed with this facility from the first time I was here. Chris Long was showing me about, along with a large number of architects, about what was being done here. And I had just a hint what was going to be accomplished. I can say to you, as citizens of this community, your Board of Education, the staff members that they employ, have erected a facility that meets all of the criteria, in fact, exceeds many of the criteria for a safe, quality learning environment. But one area stands out perhaps even more than any of the rest. That is the degree to which this building is environmentally friendly, which this building is environmentally going to mean fewer dollars for a quality environment for the students and the community that utilize this building. The reputation is statewide and even beyond. This building has become the new standard for efficiency and being a green, perhaps the greenest of all buildings. So once again, congratulations to the community for having the foresight and the willingness to provide this facility for the community. I understand 73 years ago, this community dedicated a new school building. I will forecast, and there's a good chance that no one will be around to know if I'm right, that this building will last even longer as a splendid addition to an outstanding community. It's good to be in the home of the Bulldogs today.
Thank you, Representative Adams. I'm Senator Bill Beagle, and as the only Beagle in a house full of Bulldogs, I will be brief. I'm a father of 3 school-aged children myself. I am a member of the Senate Education Committee, which Jenny, I didn't tell you while you were introducing, because I was afraid what you might do, because you had the microphone. And now I've got it. So I'm on the Education Committee, and we all know what a competitive environment our children are facing as they leave high school and as they leave college for the world, and they need all the tools they can get. So I commend you, this community, for providing your kids the very best that you can possibly give them. And I've got, on behalf of the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House of Representatives, a commendation signed by Senate President Tom Niehaus and Speaker of the House William Batchelder on behalf of Representative Adams and myself. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will quote from the closing paragraph, which says that we commend the Milton Union Exempted Village School District on the ribbon cutting and dedication for the new Milton Union Elementary School building and extend best wishes for the ongoing success. And Jenny, I'm afraid I don't have a frame for it, so consider that an unfunded mandate.
And now, tell me when you're ready. Oh, turn it the other way so you can see the bulldog. Yeah. Oh, yay!
Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, so much has happened, so much hard work, so much intense planning, so many, many decisions to build this brand new school. We feel relief, and we are proud that we could do it. In one sense, we have come to a conclusion, and yet we are only just starting anew. Give us your blessing, O God, we ask in all humility, for all our efforts must be grounded in your goodwill and eternal purpose. We ask your guidance in all things for the future of this school. We ask that all this which now is new, standing before us, truly serve your will, especially in forming and educating many future generations of the young, who will need so much good, solid foundations for living their lives and being good, productive citizens of this nation, the United States of America. May this be a place where not only the newest technology, learning, academic skills be taught, but also those untangibles, goodness, sacrifice, love, the dedication of leaders, teachers, administrators, coaches, custodians, all of the staff at the school. Grant that they be examples of the virtues, truth, decency, fairness, and justice, genuine respect for human dignity, and reverence for those things the founders of our country held dear. Grant that these may be lived and observed and modeled in this school. We know we are far from perfect, but we believe, O God, that we have your grace, and that's something very special in this nation that provides public education to its citizens. Grant, O God, your abundant blessing.
Sorry, Jodi. Pick it up one more time. As we draw to a conclusion, I certainly want to thank everybody, all over you. It's just a great, great community. And I know a number of you want to take a tour. We've given quite a few tours. Actually, we've done over 100 tours, and we've taken over 1,200 people through the facility, and it's just been wonderful, just a great place. I'd like the National Honor Society students to stand. These young men and women, well, they had homecoming last night, and they still showed up today. Thank you. They are in teams of 2, and they will be leading the tours throughout the facility. And I can tell you they do an excellent job. They can mimic me pretty well, So they are going to be in the athletic lobby area where you came in. So if you want a tour, make sure you come to the athletic lobby, and they will take you through in pairs and teams. So I will excuse you guys now if you'd like to go out. And I can also tell you that we have wonderful food, because if you know Jolene from the Brick House, she is serving on the other side. So either go for a tour, get food, but thank you so much for coming. Okay, Mr. Duncan, it's your turn.